It started with the letter. Folded neat, typed in that smug Times New Roman font, the kind people use when they want to sound polite while holding a knife behind their back. It was left in our mailbox, and signed but watermarked with the crest of the Springwood Trails HOA. We weren't in the HOA. Our ranch sat just outside their manicured bubble, where fences were lower than egos and neighbors snitched with a smile. Still, the letter insisted that our yard debris, a stack of firewood and a rusted tractor we'd been working on, was aesthetic pollution visible from the main road. A nuisance. A violation of community cohesion. My wife, Ellie, laughed. We don't even live in their community. I shrugged it off. Just bored rich folks swinging their self-importance like a badge. Our land was our land. 40 acres of pine-stretched sky, quiet dirt roads, and the smell of honest sweat. A safe place to raise our kids, free from the nonsense we left behind in the city. That's what I thought. That's what I needed to believe. But that was the first mistake. Ignoring it. Because the second letter came with photos, zoomed-in shots of our porch, our swing, our kitchen window. Taken at dusk. Ellie stopped smiling then. They were here, she whispered. Her voice cracked on the word. I told her it was nothing. Probably a drone. Maybe a neighbor just trying to make a point. But my jaw tightened, and that night I loaded the shotgun. Not out of fear. Just in case. That's what I told myself. A week later, our dog went missing. Max never wandered. Never. The gate was open. His collar left hanging on the latch. We searched the woods for hours. Ellie was crying by the creek when I found her. I wanted to tell her it'd be okay, that we'd find him. But something in my chest said we wouldn't. We didn't. I called the HOA office. Got voicemail. Called again. Left a message. Whoever's playing games, it ends now. No one called back. That night, a shadow moved outside our bedroom window. Just a flicker, like someone ducking low. I stepped outside barefoot, gun in hand, breath fogging in the cold. The porch boards creaked like they knew what was coming. Nothing. But I knew what I felt. We weren't alone. IT wasn't just letters anymore. 2 nights later, I woke up to the sound of gravel crunching. I rolled out of bed, heart punching through my ribs. Outside, a figure in a reflective vest was walking along the edge of our property, flashlight skimming the ground, like he was surveying. I stormed out the door barefoot, gun in hand, yelling, "Hey, you're on private land." The man froze, then slowly turned his head toward me. He didn't run, didn't even flinch, just smiled, a crooked, knowing smirk that made the hair on my neck lift, and said, "HOA compliance doesn't stop at the border. Just keeping you accountable." That was when I should have called the sheriff. But I didn't. I didn't want to be that guy. Overreacting. Making enemies. Maybe I just wanted to protect my pride more than my family. I went back inside, hands shaking. Ellie was sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. "You saw him?" I asked. She nodded slowly. I sat beside her. "Something's wrong. This isn't normal." She finally looked at me, and for the first time since we moved here, there was doubt in her eyes. "Maybe we should clean it up. Just the woodpile. Get rid of the tractor. Maybe it's provoking them." "Provoking them?" I snapped. "This is our land." "But it's just junk, Jamie. It's not worth all this." Her voice had turned soft. Scared. But there was something else under it, something I couldn't place yet. "We argued," she cried. I went out back and smashed a beer bottle against the old barn just to feel something real. The next day, the tractor was gone. I asked her if she moved it. She said no. I found its rusted shell dumped in the creek half a mile down, half submerged like a warning. Like someone was saying, "This is what happens when you don't listen." I filed a report. The sheriff took it down, said they'd look into it, but I saw it in his eyes. He didn't believe me. Thought it was neighbor drama or paranoia. Maybe he was right. But then our 6-year-old, Maggie, came to me with something that broke me in half. She pulled me aside, whispered, "Daddy, there's a man in the trees." "What?" "He watches Mommy when you're not home." I knelt down, grabbing her shoulders. "What man, baby? When?" She pointed out the window. He stands there, by the scarecrow. Mommy told me not to tell you. My blood ran ice cold. I walked back into the house, shaking. Ellie, I said, my voice low. What the hell is Maggie talking about? She paled, looked down. I didn't want to scare you, she whispered. He's probably just a neighbor. You knew. She didn't answer, just cried. That night, I slept on the couch with a gun in my lap, lights off, heart wide open and bleeding. Because it hit me, quietly and all at once. This wasn't just about the HOA anymore. This was personal. And someone, maybe more than one person, was inside our life. Watching. Waiting. I started keeping watch from the porch each night. Same chair. Same shotgun. Same prayers whispered into the dark. But whoever it was, they got smarter. No more flashlight beams. No more footsteps. Just little signs we weren't alone. The door left half open when I know I locked it. A child's toy placed perfectly in the center of the hallway. Muddy prints on the stairs that didn't match any of our boots. One night, I caught a man's reflection in the window glass. Just a flash, a face half lit by moonlight. By the time I spun around, he was gone. They were playing with me, slowly unraveling the threads that held my sanity together. And Ellie? She started slipping, too. She stayed in the bedroom most days, curtains drawn, whispering on the phone. I'd come in and she'd shove it under a pillow like I was the one trespassing. Her hands shook when she poured coffee. She flinched when I touched her shoulder. I asked her straight one morning, "Who are you talking to?" "No one." "You're lying." She didn't deny it, just looked out the window and said, "I didn't want it to get this far." "Wouldn't you want to get this far?" She turned to me, eyes red. "I thought I could fix it before you found out." I took a step back. My mind raced through every dark place it could reach. "Fix what, Ellie?" She looked at me like she didn't even recognize me. It was supposed to be a fine. A citation. They said if we cleaned it up, it'd go away. But then, I signed something. I didn't read it all. They said it was just protocol. "What did you sign?" "A waiver." I thought. Her voice cracked. They said if we wanted to be left alone, we had to sign into voluntary compliance. That they'd stop the inspections. Stop sending letters. But Jamie, I didn't know. Ellie, I felt the floor tilt beneath me. You put us under their authority? Her silence was answer enough. That night, I found the document in her drawer. 30 pages. Legal jargon. Buried in the middle. Consent to property oversight, both internal and external, by Springwood Trails Homeowners Association and affiliated contractors for a duration of 18 months. Internal. They had the right to enter her home. I vomited in the sink. Rage. Betrayal. Fear. All swirling. She gave them the key. She gave them us. That was the night I found the camera. Tucked behind the vent in Maggie's room. Blinking red. And right next to it, a business card. Derek Hale, Springwood Trails Compliance Officer. My vision tunneled. My heart became something hard and weapon-shaped. Because I remembered that name. That was the man with the flashlight. That was the man in the vest. That was the man who smiled when I told him to leave. I drove to the Springwood Trails office just after sunrise. The glass doors were locked, lights off. But the parking lot had a single black SUV parked crooked across 2 spots, like whoever drove it thought they were too important for rules. The name on the business card was all I needed. Derek Hale. He wasn't just a compliance officer. He was the HOA. Founder. Head. Judge and jury of everything within the pristine picket fences of Springwood Trails. I found his house tucked at the top of the neighborhood. All stucco arrogance and security cameras blinking like eyes that never slept. I waited outside with a shotgun in the back seat. I didn't even know what I was going to do, not really. Confront him? Threaten him? Make him feel what he made us feel? But before I could knock, his front door opened. And he stepped out with Maggie in his arms. Laughing. My daughter. My 6-year-old baby girl. Wearing different clothes. Her hair in a braid I didn't do. She looked up, saw me, and smiled. "Hi, Daddy." Time stopped. I nearly blacked out. I drew the shotgun, heart screaming, soul cracking. Put her down. Derek raised his hands. Jamie, wait, just listen. Put her down. He slowly knelt, setting her down. She ran toward me, arms wide, clueless. Did Mommy tell you? She chirped. Tell me what, baby? That he's my uncle. My knees buckled. What did you just say? I looked up at Derek. What did you do? Ellie came running out of the house behind him, breathless. Jamie, please don't. I didn't know who I was pointing the gun at anymore. You told me your family was gone. That you had no one. You said. She collapsed to her knees. I lied. Okay? I lied. Why? She sobbed. Because I didn't want you to know who I used to be. And then she said it. The words that would haunt me forever. I was married to him, Jamie. He's Maggie's father. Silence. A silence, so deep it screamed. You told me you left a relationship, not a family. You told me you were alone. She couldn't look at me. I thought I was. Until the HOA reached out and said our property overlapped their boundary. I thought it was a coincidence. But it wasn't. She looked at Derek. He found me. Derek took a step forward. I never stopped looking. You stole my daughter. I saved her, she shot back. And I realized what the letters were. What the photos were. The scare tactics. The shadow in the trees. The camera in the vent. He wasn't trying to scare us. He was trying to get his daughter back. And Ellie? She'd built a life with me out of lies. A stolen name. A forged lease. A family built on silence and secrets. My hand trembled around the trigger. I could have ended him. Right there. Right then. But Maggie was watching. And in her eyes, she didn't see monsters. She saw parents. 2 men. Both claiming to love her. I dropped the gun. Dropped to my knees. And cried. Epilogue. We sold the ranch. We left Springwood trails and the memories buried in its soil. Ellie, I don't know where she is now. Or what name she uses. Last I heard, Derek got partial custody. Maggie writes me sometimes. Drawings. Crayon hearts. They kill me every time. I haven't been the same since. And sometimes late at night, I wake up thinking I still see that man at the edge of the trees. But it's just me now, staring back, wondering how far love can take you before it becomes theft. And how a harmless letter from the HOA can be the first thread pulled before everything you love comes undone.